And knowing me, it's quite an average roll. I rolled a 6 plus 6. So first, let's talk about that plus 6, which is added to the natural 6 rolled on the dice. So coming back to our modifiers, remember the big numbers that Paul talked about, which he pointed out. Now, if you look to our dexterity, we've got a 4. So here in this case, what the roll is, you roll a d20 dice, and in this case the number was a 6, and then you add 4 plus your proficiency bonus. Your 4 comes from your dexterity modifier, so you're using your dexterity modifier plus 2, which is your proficiency bonus, and that's how you get the total of plus 6 to your roll. So that adds up to a total of 12 to hit. Now let's just say the creep he was hitting had an AC of exactly 12. That still hits. So here in this case, in Roll20, you just click on the chat on Rapier, and I'll just roll to attack. So now the DM will tell you, okay, go ahead, that hits, so roll your damage. And okay, so that's a total of 9. So now on the dice here, I've rolled now the damage for this particular weapon. Now here's where the damage dice comes into play. Each weapon has its own damage die, right? And now there are categories to these weapons also. You have martial weapons, you have light weapons, you have weapons with thrown properties, and so on, ranged weapons, right? There are various classes to these weapons. Now, the rapier, I think, falls under a... I think it falls under simple weapon.
It's a martial weapon, but it's finesse.
Martial finesse. So it has the finesse property, which means now if any weapon has the finesse property to it, you could use your dexterity modifier. Let's say, for example, this martial weapon in general uses the strength modifier for its damage dice. But here in this case, you're a rogue and you have high dexterity, but you are still using a rapier. Since the rapier has the finesse property, you can use your dex modifier instead of the strength. So instead of using that plus 2 from the strength, I'm using the plus 4 from my dex. And that is added with my proficiency bonus, getting that plus 6 to the attack. And the damage dice for the rapier is a d8 dice. So the roll on the d8 was what did I roll? A 5.
You rolled a 5, yeah.
Too bad, actually, yeah. And you use your dexterity modifier plus 4. A total of 9. So whoever or whatever I've hit now takes 9 piercing damage.
Oh yeah, damage types are very important.
Damage types, very, very important. And it's very important to pay attention, like especially in combat. And this is something like if you're a new player, don't worry if you've not picked up on this already. But now if you've heard of it, hey, pay attention to how your creeps, like rather how your enemies are taking the damage you're dealing to them. I always like to ask my DMs, is it taking damage? They look okay. And like DMs will always give you like some DMs might not give you hints straight off. Some DMs, if you ask, they would be like, yeah, you see, he's not taking as much damage as you expected. And that's probably because, let's say, for example, I was hitting a creature that's resistant to piercing damage. That 9 would immediately be halved. And it would be half, let's say, for example, 9, if we're halving it, it would be rounded down to 4. So damage types are very, very important in combat on how it affects the damage, how hard that damage hits the enemy you're targeting. So there's like, just to give you a slight overlook into it, there's piercing, there's slashing, there's bludgeoning, there's force damage, there's necrotic damage, that it goes on, there's fire damage, there's cold damage, there's poison. So you see when I'm going this, like, there are so many damage types. But like, for example, bog standard weapons, you have piercing, bludgeoning, slashing. Those are kind of like, the bog standard weapon damage that you have. So in this case, it's piercing damage with a rapier. Let's quickly look at the short bow since we have access to a ranged weapon. Now, ranged weapons, let me open, Paul, actually open the gear on your end.
Yeah. No, it opens on either side. You open, I open.
Okay.
Yeah.
It opened for you?
Yeah.
Oh, sweet. Yeah, it did. So if you look here, you see range and it shows 80 by 320. So now every ranged weapon has a particular distance within which it's effective. So this short bow in particular has a range of where up to 80 feet you hit normally. Past 80 feet and up to 320 feet, you can still, your arrow will go to the target, but you will be rolling your attacks at a disadvantage because it's starting to go away from the, what's the word I'm looking for this particular effective range. Thank you. You're just about crossing the effective range of this weapon. So once you start crossing the effective range, and if you still play within its maximum range, you can hit. You can definitely try to make the attack, but you will roll at disadvantage.
So here's the weird
thing.
For example, let's say the enemy is at 85 feet. And you've used your entire movement to get that close. But they are still just outside of your effective range for your short bow. So you will roll that, even if they're 81 feet away, they are out of your effective range. This is a little finagly. It's a little weird. So as you can see, Khan just switched the advantage toggle to disadvantage. So when he rolls the attack, go for it, dude. You notice 2 d20s are rolled. Now, when you're rolling at disadvantage, you roll 2 d20s and you take the lower number. While advantage, you roll 2 d20s and you take the higher number. Pretty simple and straightforward. And of course, the DM will tell you that dude is out of your range. You may roll to hit, but you will roll a disadvantage. And so on and so forth.
Yeah.
And there are multiple ways to get advantage and the multiple ways to get disadvantage as well, depending on the situation that you're in. Now, we're throwing a bunch of stuff at you right now, which may not make a whole lot of sense in the moment. But trust me, once you guys start playing, you will see how these mechanics work into gameplay. Okay? But just bear with us.
Yeah. Don't get overwhelmed by anything. I initially, when I had to get down to learning the mechanics properly to start playing, the first campaign, Adi's campaign, in Time of Sand, I remember sitting, just before the session and, actually panicking a little. And I was like, oh shit, why am I forgetting how to roll the attack? And then I was like, no, okay, let's just wait. And actually, once I started playing with everyone, and here's the thing, guys, at least, I don't know, I play with nice people. Most tables, you're not going to be yelled at if you ask a question. Always ask. It's good to ask if you have a doubt. Clear a doubt, especially your DM's always there for that. So don't sit till it comes to your turn and be like, I just panicked. I don't know what to do. Just ask. Just be like, guys, I kind of forgot how do I roll to hit again? Someone will definitely, or everyone will jump at one time. But yes, the help will come to you is what I'm saying. And get into playing. Just get into playing. And once you start playing, all these things make so much more sense, guys. Trust me. After that, it just becomes common sense. Because you get into the mechanics a little more. You get your feet dipped in a little more. So you'll be like, that's why we're using a +6. I get it now. And you always have books online readily now to refer at any moment, at any time in the digital world.
Yeah, I mean, just Google and you can find stupid amounts of information.
It's ridiculous. And like I was saying in the last episode, D&D has finally hit the surface at least. There's it's like D&D swimming around with its snorkeling goggles, snorkeling gear now. So that's good.
I mean, that's basically the entire sheet that I want to talk about here. You know, there's not a whole lot else to discuss in terms of anything else. All of it just, it's pretty straightforward stuff. It's very easy. Like I said, like initially looking at it, it's extremely like, oh my fucking god, so many fucking numbers. How do I understand anything? It's like, no. Get this down. And when you get to your first session, you sit down, you guys go through your first combat session, you will learn things as you go. Okay, so enough nerd shit. Let's get back to the artwork, which I want to show everybody else again.
Yeah.
But yeah, so D&D, it seems complicated. It seems hard. There's a lot of math. Sure. And I mean, like I said, the math can take you out of the moment. But there are like something like for example, if you're playing in IRL, you have to actually roll actual dice, do the actual math. On virtual tabletops, the math is done for you. So you can just go, I rolled a hit, and the DM can just look over and chat and go, yes, that hits. Amazing. And then you roll the number, like they take that much damage. Cool. It makes things super fast when you're playing on a virtual tabletop. In IRL games, there's a degree of tension when you roll a dice. It feels good to roll dice, don't get me wrong.
It feels good.
It feels really good to roll the dice. But the dice but then of course it bogs it down, because then you have to go, okay, I rolled a 12. What's my attack modifier? It's a 6. Okay, what's my damage? So 6 plus 12, 18. Does 18 hit? Yes, it hits. Okay, cool. Let me roll damage. I roll a 1. What's my damage? You know, it can become a little cumbersome in IRL.
Yeah.
However, it's
don't
fun.
let it overwhelm you also.
Yeah.
Like especially in IRL cases, I'm sure like DMs are like everyone, like even DMs have to sit and have math issues. So a DM is going to be patient and wait for you to calculate your total properly.
Yeah, and
so
plus,
don't worry.
I mean, the Dungeon Masters probably roll more dice in one session than you do.
You think he's worried about you? He's worried about his own math.
Yeah, I mean,
trust me, guys. DMs most of the time, you think they're plotting against you. No, they're actually trying to make sure they remember everything they had planned. Or if the party's like gone off course, he's sitting and ripping shit off of his head. He's like probably going, oh no, what do I name this NPC they're talking to? Oh my god, is he a good person? Okay, he's probably a good person.
I mean, so say I have 4 players at the table, and there are 8 enemies in front. As a Dungeon Master, I have to roll 8 enemy attacks, while these guys get to roll 1 attack per turn.
Yeah.
I'm just like, oh my fucking god, I gotta do all this math. Roll, fuck, that fucking doesn't hit you. Shit, next guy, roll. Okay, he hits, I gotta roll a bunch of dice. I roll more dice than my players ever do. And it's kind of nuts. Like Heart Fairy says in chat, D&D.
That was, you nailed it.
Yeah.
You nailed it on the head there.
Exactly.
That is amazing. Yeah. That's exactly what it is, guys. Like, the more you play it, the more it makes sense. Like at first sight, at first glance, like, let's just say you get into the game and finally, like, a DM puts you onto Roll20 or whatever and be like, voila, here's everything. Yeah, you're immediately going to be like, dude, maybe I signed up for a little too much. Don't get overwhelmed. No, don't let that be your first thought. Rather, that will be your first thought. Just don't let it get you. Just be like, yeah, okay, this stuff will come to me. This stuff will come to me. Just start playing.
Exactly.
Start playing.
Just jump in. Because like I was saying, any Dungeon Master worth his weight in salt would definitely have a session 0.
Definitely, yeah.
Session 0 is very important because it sets the tone for the game and helps people understand how they're... Like, the DM might just do, let's do a mock battle. Just so you guys understand how your sheet works. How do you make attacks? How do you call out your... So say there are 4 goblins. I'm like, I'm going to attack that goblin. I'm like, which goblin? The third one from the left. I'm like, okay, fantastic. Attack that one. Roll to hit. So you roll your attack. So, and like you're saying, IRL, it's a little difficult because IRL, most of the times, either you have minis or you have theater of the mind. While something like Fantasy Grounds or Roll20 or whichever virtual tabletop you're using, there are multiple ways for you to indicate, I am attacking this dude. So the DM knows, okay, cool, make your attack on that guy. And it's just like Heart Fairy said, the more you play, once you learn the basics and how stuff happens, how stuff flows, that is when you learn things. Oh, we forgot to talk about action economy.
Oh, yes.
I realized
yes,
about that.
Yes.
Again, we're throwing
we just took a nerd break.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah. Just doing math and other bullshit. I apologize. So, action economy, again, two big words being thrown at you. Simple. On your turn, there are three things that you can do. There's an action, a bonus action, and movement. There's one more action, but that happens outside of your turn. But these three things can happen on your turn. So you can, say my speed is 30 as the Goliath. I can move 30 feet. Then as my bonus action, I can, as a rogue, I use my bonus action to hide. So you roll your stealth roll and you roll whatever it is. Now, if you're in a fight, there's always the passive perception everyone has. So in my case, it's a 14.
Mm-hmm.
Because I have a +4, so it's 10 base +4 passive perception. So say I roll a 15. No, say the enemy rolls a 15 on their stealth. My passive perception is 14. I cannot see that character. Therefore, they get to attack me with advantage. So that's a bonus action. And for action, I choose to attack, which will be your rapier attack, shortbow attack, dagger attack, or if you're a spellcaster, that's your spell. And some spells even say this spell is a bonus action, or this spell is an action to use. But remember, on your turn, generally speaking, we have these three things you can do: action, bonus, and movement. Now, when it's not your turn, you have reactions, which are fantastic. So things like attacks of opportunity. So say an enemy is come within range of you, and they decide to leave your attack range. As a reaction, you can attempt to hit them as they're running away. And then in which case, the DM will go, okay, roll to hit. Choose your weapon of choice. Normally, if they're in melee with you, you're probably going to use your rapier. So you'll attack with your rapier to maybe get an attack in on them when they're running away from you. Mm-hmm. So that's the basic action economy that you have on your turn throughout the initiative order. And like Con said, initiative goes from the highest to the lowest. The higher initiative, the sooner you go in your turn. And remember, guys, when it's not your turn, read your sheet, plan your stuff.
Yeah.
Plan what you're going to do.
Yeah. I was just going to say that once you finished making the main point, I was going to pipe in and say that it's good to pay attention to what's happening and also look at your sheet and just be have an idea of what you can do to aid what's happening already.
Yeah.
Don't wait till the last minute.
Like I tell my party and anything else I play, I'm like, #read your sheet. Because I can't keep track of your characters. I have to keep track of 15 other NPCs that I have.
True.
I'm like, you have inspiration. Why didn't you use it? You have a feature that reduces damage. Why aren't you using it?
And as a player, that's all you need to do. That's all you need to do. You just need to be proficient with your sheet.
Just read your sheet.
Just be proficient with your sheet. And you can just do this just even half an hour before the session. Just spend 5-10 minutes with your sheet. If you've played enough of the character, you just need to brush up.
Yeah.
Just need to brush up.
Like for example, beauty of Roll20 is it gives you features and traits right here. So I have powerful build. What does powerful build give me? I count as one size larger when determining my carry capacity. Or Stone's Endurance, which is a Goliath exclusive feature. I can roll a d12, add my Constitution modifier, and reduce damage that comes to me. Rogues at higher levels get something called Uncanny Dodge, which halves the damage that they take. I can stack that with Stone's Endurance and reduce the damage to nearly nothing. But that's the thing, and the DM will not remind you that you have these features.
Yeah.
Because how the hell is he, she, or they supposed to fucking remember when I am running 10 dragons at the same time?
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't know what can you do? I've had the amount of times I had people go, they get knocked the fuck out. They drop to 0 hit points, or the character dies and they go, shit, I had inspiration, or fuck, I had this ability that could reduce the damage. Damn it. I'm like, well, did you use it? No. Well, then either way you're dead. I'm sorry. But that's the whole thing. That's the whole idea. Read your sheet. understand what each of these things mean. Now, here's the thing is, if you don't understand what something is, ask. Do not be scared to ask. Again, we as Dungeon Masters, we want you to succeed. We want you to win. We're on your side. Our job is just to make it difficult for you to win. But we want you to win. Read your sheet. Be familiar with your sheet. Be familiar with how your class works. What is your class good at? As a rogue, I'm good at sneaking around, getting into, stealing things from people. I'm good at hiding in a corner, taking pot shots at people and getting access to sneak attack, which is the rogue's bread and butter. If you're a rogue, sneak attack is what you're going to use the most of, because it does a metric fuck ton of damage if you have advantage or if you have allies within 5 feet. And the thing is, best thing about this, it tells you right here information about sneak attack. Beginning at first level, you know how to strike subtly and exploit a force distraction. Once per turn, you can deal an extra 1d6 damage to one creature you hit with an attack if you have advantage on the attack roll. But it also says you don't need advantage on the attack roll if an enemy of the target is within 5 feet of it. So if you have an ally 5 feet from an enemy and you take that attack, you don't have advantage on the attack, but you still get your sneak attack because you managed to squeeze that arrow in between your ally's legs, which catches the enemy unawares. So that's the sneak attack. So read your sheet, understand your features, understand how they work. Mainly because it makes things easier for you to understand how you can aid your party in doing what they need to do.
Yeah.
And like I was saying, don't be afraid to ask questions. Please ask. There's nothing worse than someone sitting there tight-lipped and going, I don't fucking know what to do. Shut the fuck up. Ask. Just ask. We'll help you. My God, we'll help you.
Yeah. And your party members are always there also. Everyone is there to help you. Never feel again, D&D is all about letting loose and having fun. So, of course, people are going to help you have fun with your character as well.
I mean, for example, like Heart Fairy says, the best part of making your own character, the thrill of how to shape a being of custom races to classes the way you character. Like, for example, normally speaking, I would never make a Goliath rogue. It's super counterintuitive. But the rules say it works. So it works.
Yeah.
My 8-foot tall barbarian.
The rules say, why not?
Yeah, the rules say why not.
Why not? This Goliath, in my head already, I'm thinking this guy was going on pointed at from the time he was young, as a clumsy ass. And people are like, you're just one of those dudes who's you can't, it's hard to miss you, man. Why are you always so thing? So he took it upon himself to start being super sneaky, super stealthy. Just something so stupid like that.
I mean, again, that could be a backstory.
He's a rogue.
Yeah, could be a great backstory. Could be a great backstory. It's like he's been trying to get this one thing from this one guy, but he just can't do it. I'm like, I am going to become the stealthiest motherfucker ever, and I'm going to break into his house and steal his shit.
Yeah.
That's a great backstory for you. So, at the end of the day, it's all about reading your sheet. Sit with your dungeon master, or sit with one of your other players who might know more, and just discuss what you can do and how to understand what your different features are. Because the last thing you want to feel is useless at the table.
Yeah.
And the
DM also doesn't want you to feel that way. Because DMs automatically can pick up when a person is being a little too reserved at the table. It's very easy to tell.
Yeah. Which is why I keep saying, dude, do you want to do something when you guys want to have a chat? No? Oh, okay. I will never force you to roleplay. But either way, my point is just have fun. What's the most important thing? Read your sheet, have fun, understand your class, understand your character. And I mean, again, like we mentioned in episode 1, it's a commitment. Dungeons and Dragons is a commitment. Yeah. If you're going to play, put in the work. Because when you put in the work, it becomes more fun. Because then, like when I started playing, I've been theory crafting so many goddamn characters, which I will never play. Never play. Because I'm a forever DM. Actually, I'm not a forever DM. I just like being a DM. But you come up with some crazy shit. Like, why can't I make a Goliath rogue? Who says I can't do that? Why can't I make a freaking gnome paladin? Who says I can't do that? I'm picking up a giant fuck off sword and I'm coming at you, and I'm 3 feet tall. What you gonna do? I will smite you. You know, it's like, why can't you? Like some people come with the most crazy things. I've been polymorphed into I've been polymorphed into a piece of bread, but I got awoken. So I do have magical abilities. So, but I can't walk. I have no feet. I'm going to use Mage Hand to carry myself around. Who says you can't do that? It's cumbersome, but you can do it.
You can do it.
You know, I mean, it'll be hilarious because the moment water falls on you, you just crumble to pieces. So, not the strongest, race to choose, but doesn't mean you can't do it.
Yeah.
But that's the thing, though. So it's all about understanding what you're deciding to play. Like Lost Minds of Fandelver, I had a party which unfortunately TPK'd, but I sat with all of them and went through their character sheets and told them how this stuff works. I gave them a basis, but it didn't stick with them until their first combat segment. Then they were like, oh, right, that's okay, that's how that works. Okay, okay, cool. Let me, So, take your time. Understand.
Yeah, take your time.
And once you get in game, it'll all make sense. Anything else you want to add, Con?
I mean, I think we've covered like the basics so far.
Yeah. and like I said, both our socials there are
much to talk about.
Exactly, so much. Like I said, both our socials are there on Splash Art. You have questions about D&D? Feel free to DM us.
Yeah.
I swear to God, feel free.
Anytime.
Feel free.
Anytime.
I am more than happy because the more people I get in Dungeons and Dragons, the happier I feel, because this hobby is without question one of the best hobbies I have ever taken up in my life.
Hands down. Like Paul and I are on a mission to break the stigma.
Yeah.
Break the fucking stigma.
I swear to God.
Okay.
Just play. Join us. Have fun.
Yes.
Tell stories. I mean, at some point, we're going to, one of the episodes, we're going to sit down and talk about stuff that's happened to us in our various games. And we have so many stories to tell. And all of it was decided by dice, but it's the imagination that lets you go, I see it all happening in my head.
Yeah, it's stories now. They are now proper stories. That's the beauty of it. Like, whatever you do in your Dungeons and Dragons campaign, in your particular story with your table, that remains life, guys. Like forever. That's main. That's there. That story is there. No one can take that away from you.
Yeah, and so you can create some amazing stories.
Yeah.
But I think
I got so many, like Ollie, for example, I got him super interested into D&D by just telling him stories about Purgatory. Yeah. And I was telling him a lot about Luna. Like, it was just after Luna died is when I was talking to Ollie about, I remember I had Grey Shack Jam or something the next day. And we were busy recording. We were recording Sundowner. And that's when I told, I was telling her, one of my favorite characters died, and then I was explaining to him that's what got him interested. And then he joined my first, my experimental game as a DM, my first game, the Master's Wall. And Ollie joined that, and now he loves it.
Yeah.
He's picking it up. He's starting to find his place in D&D. It's nice to see him enjoy it.
Yeah, no, it's super fun because when people get involved, stories happen, things happen, things I don't expect keep happening in my games. I'm just like, this is amazing. I love this.
It's the same thing.
Yeah, I was put into by crazy stories as well.
Yeah.
It's just stuff and just telling stories and just having fun.
Wow, that's full circle to today's episode. We started by saying just that. We started this podcast by saying just that. You asked me, Con, how do you explain to someone what D&D is about? And that's what I said. It's storytelling at best with a bunch of people you either know or you don't know, or you're probably just meeting and you get to make a bunch of new friends as well. But it's just storytelling at best.
Yeah. It's amazing. The amount of friends I've made through D&D, it's astronomical. It's insane. People I'll probably never meet, but we're still friends.
Yeah.
And we're gonna keep playing this till we all die. Without question. Like I'll be playing D&D till I drop.
Yeah, for sure, dude. For sure.
But yeah, guys, I think, wow, we've been an hour and 42. Jesus, that's a long ass episode. I apologize for everybody who's hung around for so long.
Apologize.
I mean, but again, I hope this was informative. Insightful. I hope it gave you an idea of why we love this game so much.
Yeah.
And like I said, our socials are there. Feel free to hit us up at any point if you have questions.
Exactly. The reason why, the main goal behind this podcast is not to get ourselves out there. More than anything, it's about opening the community of D&D out there and be like, hey, you know,
come play.
Come. It's
Join
actually
us.
welcoming.
Yeah.
We're nice people. We don't sit in dingy rooms or sit with our lights off. No.
Yeah. We're all chill.
If we turned our lights off, it's because we want it off, just because we have it off, even when we're not playing D&D.
Yeah.
Okay. Stop the stereotypes.
Yes. So like I said, I'm a dungeon master, as is Con. We run sessions on weekends. So on Saturday, we have Conrad's game Descendant and Avernus, which I stream on my channel, which you guys are more than welcome to come join and watch and enjoy the fun. Then it's my game of Storm King's Thunder after that, which I think, Con, you do stream that as well?
Yep. I stream on my channel,
which is Connorboy24 on Twitch.
24.
And then I have a game after that which I play, which again I stream on my channel, which is a completely different group altogether. We have several other players who stream their own stuff as well, but for the sake of this, you can tune into my Twitch and watch my streams for D&D as well as other stuff that I do. Con, want to plug your Twitch as well?
Yeah, same thing with me. Like Paul and I, we have the same games on Saturday, and then on Sunday I have a homebrewed campaign that I am a part of. Rather, there are two homebrewed campaigns by one crazy DM, Mr. Adi, and those games keep alternating, like, you know, every other Sunday. But yeah, tune in, Connorboy24. That's my Twitch TV. Of course, I'm just in the progress, like just started, like, you know, rebranding the whole thing and actually doing it properly. So more stuff to come on that, more updates later.
Yeah, guys, definitely go hit up his channel if you want to watch any sim racing or you want to watch stuff like Valheim or other games. Con and I often play together, so we collaborate a lot of stuff.
We're collaborating quite often, so
yeah. So feel free to drop by both our channels. Of course, another shout out to Priscilla Dillon or Prissy Dilly for this amazing artwork right now.
Oh, I'm so obsessed. It's going to be my wallpaper.
It's so good. It is so good. Prissy, thank you so much for this. I love it.
Thank you, Prissy.
So good.
It's amazing.
So like I said, if you guys want artwork for your campaigns, you want artwork for your characters, or you just want artwork done, period, message Priscilla at Prissy Dilly on Instagram. Throw her a DM. Hit her up for anything you'd like in terms of artwork. She will do it for you. Of course, she will charge, obviously. Artists have to make a living too. But
yep, we do.
Yeah. So hit those guys up. Hit up Con or hit up myself whenever you'd like. Talk about whatever you want to talk about. But I think that's the end of today's episode, guys. Thank you all so much for watching. And roll for initiative, and we'll see you guys next time. So from me to you guys, until next week. In fact, next week, we're going to start talking about the different classes available in D&D. And we're starting with the Artificer. The Artificer class. We're going alphabetically, basically.
Yeah.
So tune in as we deep dive into Artificers. Okay? So either way, from me to you guys, until next time. Peace out, guys.